Hi everyone, this is Karen Peters with RenovatedFaith.com, and this week on the blog I'm going to show you how to repair furniture before you paint it. So first of all, it's going to be really rare for you to get a piece of furniture, whether it's from a thrift store, from a garage sale, or maybe a family heirloom that you get it and it's just in pristine condition, ready to slap paint on. Most of the time you're going to have to do some repair work. This is a piece that I am redoing for my mother-in-law, Kathy, and it will eventually be navy, and the drawers are in the garage, I'm cleaning them up. We're going to leave the drawers stained, and it's going to be really pretty when it's done. You can see here, if you're wondering why the legs are gray, it's because I like to spray prime any curvy legs. That just saves me a lot of time and prevents brush strokes. But if you look closely on this piece, it's going to need a lot of love. Here's a big dent, a big chip in the molding, another place where some molding is missing, a big gouge in the side, and then some of these joints are going to need to be caulked. And another of these joints, the wood is kind of the glue has separated from the wood over time, and we're going to have to re-glue some joints as well. So it's going to need a little bit of love before we're ready to paint it. But fortunately, I've made a lot of mistakes in the past when it comes to refinishing furniture, and I've learned from those mistakes. And hopefully these tips are going to help you no matter what is going on with your piece of furniture that you need to refinish. Large holes, scratches, and gouges need to be fixed with wood filler. Take some of the wood filler out of the container with a putty knife. Then spread it over your hole or scratch, leaving a lot of excess on the surface. You want to spread it so the level of the wood filler is higher than the level of the surface of the wood. In other words, you want to have some excess on that top layer of the hole or scratch. After your wood filler has dried, you want to sand over the surface of the furniture, checking every so often to make sure that you're not sanding into the hole so that it's a really flat, nice surface. Wipe off the sanding dust and paint as normal. Be sure to download my must-have painting cheat sheet for painting any furniture project. Gaps can form between joints as furniture warps over time. For gaps that are on inside corners or inside joints, you want to use caulk. Go over any gaps with a thin bead of caulk. Don't worry if it's messy, we're going to end up wiping off a lot of this later. Now that you've caulked the gap, wet your finger with a moist paper towel or baby wipe and run your index finger along the gap. As excess caulk collects on your finger, wipe it off with the same baby wipe. Keep doing this until you have a nice, smooth, caulked gap. Remember to have a trash can nearby to throw those baby wipes in so they don't end up on the floor. Caulk is dried, be sure to touch it up with a paintbrush and the same paint you used on your furniture piece. Silicone is in caulk and dust will adhere to it if you don't touch it up. There's a great technique I've learned for fixing large chips or chunks taken out of wood furniture, and it requires using epoxy wood putty and small nails. Hammer in a row of small trim nails or wire nails into the chip. This will give the epoxy some structure and help it adhere to the wood. Be sure to not nail them in so that they're extending past the trim. Your wood putty epoxy will come in two different colors, and it needs to be mixed together before applied to your furniture piece. Mix it until it's one consistent color, and then apply it around the nails to fill in the chip of your furniture piece. Just fill in so that the epoxy is the same shape of what you're trying to replace, but is just a little bit bigger, and we'll sand off the rest later. After your wood putty epoxy has dried overnight, it's time to sand the corner to look like it did originally. Sand a little bit at a time with the corner or edge of your sander, or use a piece of sandpaper. You can see how great this chipped corner turned out after using this technique. To see how these nightstands turned out, be sure to check them out here.